Good day and welcome to today's City Point podcast. We are now going to be talking about the fourth day of the first test in Chennai between India and England. I'm joined by Wickets and Pickets boss Declan Hooper. My name is Phil Dillon. Another interesting day, shall we say, in Chennai. Declan sets up a final day, which India are used to over the last couple of months in Australia. They've had some interesting final days in the test matches.
Yeah, God, they have to be the most resilient team in Test cricket, don't they? Yeah. If we were just saying off air that, God, if they don't know when they're beaten, do they? I mean, going into this last day, we now all three results are now not completely off the table, are they?
No, they're not. It's Ishant Sharma who got his 300th Test wicket yesterday. He said that they're going to be looking to chase it down if they can get off to a good start. He thinks they can do it. So whether that's as Michael Vaughan says, whether that's a bit of kidology, I don't know, because the pitch is starting to do things. It's keeping low, it's uneven bounce, it's spinning. So actually, if they chase this down, this will be a better chase than Brisbane. Obviously, because it's a world record, 420 is the world will be a world record. But I think it'll be tough to chase down, even for India. I'm hoping anyway.
Yeah, I do. Well, I mean, I do think the firepower's there, and I think while Pujara is still at the crease, they can do both. They got Shubman Gill and Pujara at the moment. Shubman Gill can score quite quickly. Pujara can stay there if they need. I think they'll do what they did at the Gabba, and if they're in at the last session, to weigh it up at the last session, because they do have players like we've seen that they can score, upwards of 120 to 150 runs in a session.
I mean, the people look into the past for key indicators on final days, etc. India chased down 387 in Chennai in 2008 with Sachin Tendulkar getting 103 not out and VVS Laxman was 70 odd not out. So they've done it before there. But like I said to my mate last night, the thing is that the game's changed a hell of a lot in those 10, 13 years. Their players now are used to playing IPL 2020 cricket, and if they can go into that T20 mode, which Rishabh Pant can do quite easily, so can Kohli. Then England could have their work cut out, especially if they get after Jack Leach.
I think you only need to look at one-day scores in recent years. 300 seemed 10, 15 years ago was a fabulous score in one-day cricket. Now that tends to just be the par. Just a quick word on Ravi Ashwin. 6 wickets for him yesterday. Yeah. How good is he? How good?
Oh, he's up there with some of the best spinners of all time, I would say. He sort of went off the boil for a little bit, but then bounced back well, and then obviously that yesterday got the first wicket off the first ball of the innings, and went from there. It's I think the way England played helped him out a little bit in the middle of the innings, because they started going for it. And so they sort of gave him a chance to get wickets, and they were quite positive early on in their innings. That changed a little bit later, but yeah, he's great. He's really good. And the thing is, I'm looking at the England spinners; they're not in the same class as Ravi Ashwin, unfortunately. And I think the Indian batsmen will target them. And don't forget, they only need to score 4 runs and over, or just over. So That'll be nothing if they play correctly, even on a wearing wicket. They'll definitely look to go for it. Like you said, I think they'll do what they did in Brisbane. Pujara will hold one end up, and the guys will play around him.
Washington Sundar, 85 not out.
You had to mention him, didn't you? You had to mention him.
I have to say, I did call this early.
You did. You did. I think you must have fallen in love with him quite early at the Gabba. You come up here. I
know talent when I see it. Let's put it that way. But as I said, we thought England's tail was long, and Dom Best, he scored some runs with the bat as well. But India's got a long tail as well with 85. That now makes it 250s and 2 tests in his first 2 test matches for Washington Sundar. Not bad for a number 8, hey?
No, he looks the real deal, to be honest with you. They only bowled him 1 over as well in England's innings, so in second innings, sorry. So he's obviously done his bit with the bat. And that period when he and Ashwin put on a few runs was key to the test, because it not only that added to their total, it took time out of the test match as well, and I think that was key at that time. There's been a lot of talk about England's tactics as well. I'm not sure whether you saw that. It was strange, really, because they came out with an intent. I mean, obviously, Roy Burns went first ball of the innings. The Indians decided to go with spin up top, which was probably not a surprise, because there's bounce and turn. They're saying it's a new ball pitch. The first 25 overs is where you can get your movement with the spin and the pace. It's for first swing, but England came out with definite intent to score quickly, and they did that. But then it was a strange passage of play straight up after tea. Dom Bess came in after Ollie Pope got out, who was playing reverse sweeps, switch hits, the like, and then Dom Bess came in and was kicking the ball away from outside his leg stump, and him and Josh Butler scored something like 5 runs in 7 overs or something stupid like that at some point, which everybody was going, what's going on? And the Indians weren't unhappy with that, because they were just slowed the game down as well, because time out of the game suits them. They could always go quickly if they want to, but it just seemed to be a strange decision. And then to bat the whole, to see Jimmy Anderson come out, Jack Leach come out to bat, it was just weird. It just didn't seem right. It just seemed, why are they doing this? And nobody could really explain. Maybe they are scared of what the Indians have got in their armoury.
The tactics do seem weird, and it does seem almost weirder that they kind of flip-flopped. I think with the likes of Josh Butler, I think if you are going to stick to that tactic, you may as well just go for it and stick to your guns almost, because I do think I think the tactic is probably right to try and put on as many runs as possible, as soon as possible. However, as I said, if you're going to do it, you may as well do it rather than just taking time out the game, as you say.
If they'd scored, just 1s and 2s in that period when they were kicking the balls away, etc., then they would have advanced the score a little bit anyway. But then to see the Leach and Anderson come out and bat was really weird. It just gives them. It also gives the chance for one of those two to get injured. Wrap on the knuckles and wrap on the fingers, and you lose one of your key bowlers. Seemed a bit of a weird decision. If they've already gone past 400, and maybe that was the target, I don't know. It just suggests to me that they were scared of what Rishabh Pant can do and what Kohli can do. I don't know. Yeah. No, maybe we'll get some explanation after the final day, but seems a bit strange. I still put England in the box seat, because it's not going to be an easy chase at all, because the wicket's doing stuff. It's not the road that everybody thought it was on day 3. It changed a bit yesterday. It started keeping a bit low. It's a reverse swing, which Jimmy Anderson will obviously try to exploit, although he's not been at his best, I have to say. It's certainly another interesting final day for India, and they seem to thrive on those. The thing about what's happening, the last couple of Test matches in Australia, shows you that India can handle the pressure, whatever, whether they're chasing it or holding on for a draw.
And they can also, and you're right, and they can also, fourth innings, you almost need a day and a half to now bowl them out, because Australia twice, and I don't know whether this is a reflection on Australia's bowling attack or India's batting lineup, or a mixture of the two. But Australia were in a very similar situation to what England were in Sydney, and a relatively similar situation in Brisbane. They couldn't get them out in the last day of both Test matches. So England are going to have to do well to get India out in the day. I mean, the pitch is doing things, as you say, so that will go in England's advantage. But having said that, when you've got the likes of Pujara, you're half a chance of staying in there all day, aren't you?
You are, and that's why England are favourites, but India are still in with a chance to do either hold on, or even get the win. I wouldn't put it past them, and that's probably why they'd be more conservative in their approach in the last hour. But it just seemed to be the fact that they flip-flopped, went from going attacking to almost ultra defensive, was weird, and you could hear it in the commentator. Mark Butcher on commentary was baffled by what was going on, and Sunil Gavaskar too. So those two would have been there or thereabouts when decisions about declaring were made. I know the game has changed since they played it, but you're still the same game. You still got to chase 420 on the final day, and nobody's done that. So it's like I couldn't understand why if they were going to go past 400, get there quickly, so give yourself a bit more time to bowl them out. They've now got 90 overs. Whether that's enough, I don't know. It's, as again we say, every session is crucial, but this first session today is crucial.
Yeah. Catch up with you again tomorrow, Phil, to discuss day 5.
Yeah, will do, mate.